What's up, YouTube? Nightmare here. I haven't done a video in probably like, I want to say probably like 8 months.
Wife's still here.
Yeah, wife's in the background watching TV. Yeah, so about that, I'm alive, not dead. There's been people like commenting on different things going, are you alive, and things like that, and getting messaged. Yes, I'm alive. Just a ton of stressful things. I got promoted at my job, wife got promoted at her job. We've moved since everything, so I lost the camera charger. And I kept forgetting to buy a new one. And then as of recent, I literally finally remembered because people finally started commenting going, hey, are you alive? So I just finally got me reminded that I still have a YouTube channel with fans. Now, I am doing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. A lot of people started more subscribing to me because I started playing Pokemon. Now, the reason I stopped playing Pokemon is just the fact that I didn't get to play often enough. Now, do I still like the game of Pokemon? Yes, I think it's a great card game. I think it's a fun card game. People can sit down, have a fun time with people, and just have a friendly card game, even in competitive levels of play. I didn't get to play often enough for it to be worth my time, or worthwhile to spend the money on the game. So that's it, to give you the full reason why I didn't get to actually do more with Pokemon. I didn't have enough time. Now when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, I have a ton more friends that play Yu-Gi-Oh than I do Pokemon, and even some of the friends that do play Pokemon in town still have a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's why I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh. Has the community changed much? No, not really. I know a lot of people agreed with me on my Yu-Gi-Oh video about the community being not that great and a lot of people kind of being jerks. Yeah, the community's still a lot the same, but as of recent I've gone to a lot of locals and some people have changed, so it's good to see that the community is actually trying to help each other out. So that's another reason I'm actually getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just for the fact of the matter that people have changed. So there's still the occasional, but that's in every card game. But let's go ahead and get started with this. It's an archetype that just came out of Duelist Alliance, and it's one that I was really looking forward to coming out because the game for the Xbox 360 was amazing. I've actually read every bit of the story. The original horrific comedy written by Dante himself. I've read the story, it's really good. So it's Dante, it's the Burning Abyss archetype based on Dante's Inferno, so it's really cool. It's really fun. Yes, there are some backdraws to it. Yes, you can't go overly combo happy with it because things stop you from doing so, just the wording of the cards. But we'll go ahead and get into it. So starting off, 3 tour guide, it's your engine and your fuel for the deck. 3 Skarm, the Malabrash of the Burning Abyss. Now, if people don't know, the Malabrash are from the 8th circle of Hell. There are 9 levels of Hell in Dante's Inferno. The first 7 levels are committed to one of each of the 7 deadly sins. So what that is the first 7 levels are for the people that have committed mainly just those sins throughout their life. The 8th level of Hell is for the crooked politicians and the people that don't qualify in any of just one of the 7 sins. So what they are is the Malabrash are demons that pretty much skewer people with pitchforks and dump them in, and boil them in burning hot oil. So kind of some fun knowledge, right? So other than knowing what the backstory of those is now, Skarm is your searcher. He can recycle your tour guide. He goes and grabs more tour guide, goes and grabs any of your other graph or seer. So yeah, he's really good. Problem is like I was saying, if you special summon them by their own effect, you won't get their search or their special summon ability from the graveyard, depending on which one is sent, because they specifically designate that only one of those abilities can be used that turn on any one of them. So if I special summon a Skarm and normal summon a Skarm, just to try to exceed, and detach the one that was normal summoned, I still don't get that one's ability because it specifically designates on the card that only one of that named monster's effects can go off, and only once that turn. So, yeah, can they be a little slower? Yes, but they're still fun. 3 Graph, he is your special summon from deck, and you get some fun combos with him, like if you have something on the table that is not a Burning Abyss, they automatically die. So if you special summon him and then he dies, what you can do is you can go and get your Seer, and then he'll automatically die, and then you can go get your Scarm, so then you can fuel your searches again. Or you can special summon the Seer, and then it'll automatically die, and then you can special summon one of your Dantes from the yard if it's in there. So again, the deck has some fun combos that just kind of go, so they're a little fun. So you get Seer, Graph, and Scarm. Those are our first 3. They have announced that the next set is going to have more. I'm kind of curious what the new support's going to be. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'll probably do a deck profile once the next set comes out and I pick that stuff up. I've got 2 Mathematician just for the fact of if I draw them first turn, they're okay. I do run Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, so late game they just become fuel for Phoenix Wing. Other than that, they're also a spellcaster for a card I'll name later. I do run 2 Valor, thinking about bumping it to 3. They have gone down in popularity. Personally, I still think Valor is a very good, solid card. Just generic negation. I mean, it also is fuel for, sorry, wrong one. You have 2 Chaos Monsters. It's fuel for these guys. These are really good. Dante's a light, so as soon as you exceed into Dante, these are live. No matter what. Most of the time you go into Dante first turn every time, so first turn these are always live. And then your final boss monster. Yes, can he be cloggy and just sit in your hand? Yes. If you know you're not going to get down to 3 again, you can just pitch him. But he is there. Multiple times have I made this guy, and Dark Arm still wins games. I'll be completely straightforward and honest. He is still good enough to win games. Now, the next 3 is pretty much a basic in this deck. You've got your Astral Force rank ups. Yes, this card is amazing. Now, I've seen a lot of forums where people are like, if you have to run this card, the deck is bad. Do I agree with that? Slightly. No, this deck is not amazing. I didn't build it to be the best thing ever. I'll be completely honest with you. I built it because I'm a fan of the story, a fan of the games, or a fan of the game. It's a fun deck to put together. So yes, is this card really good? Can it accentuate your point, though? If you've got a Dante and you mill, yes. Can you exceed and keep going? Yes. So if you exceed and then bring out, so if you go into your Dante and then mill, so you mill you detach Scarm after a tour guide summon, and then mill like Graph and Seer. You start your chain links, special summon something off of Seer or Graph first, depending on what you want for your chain links, and then special summon off of Seer, and then you've got 2 more, and then you exceed again into any of the other rank 3s, and then you can just go ahead and go into Pleiades. So yes, this card is good. Like I said, did I build the deck to be amazing? No. Did I build it for fun? Yes. And is this card fun? Yes. My problem with it is the biggest reason you want to run these is the fact that yes, some of the rank 3s are really good. Ghost Trick Alucard, really good. Dante, really good. But are they good enough to stand alone against straight out in attack power or things like that, versus the Elemental Dragons, versus Judgment Dragons, versus any of that? No. So you want to shove these out to make your guy bigger. So yes. Are they good enough to stand alone in certain decks? Yes. But in most of the meta, no. Then we've got 2 Potted Dichotomy. You run Warriors, a Dragon, Spellcasters, Fiends, and a bunch of different types for Exceeds. So by turn 2, these are always live. wanted to run 3, but then it became cloggy, so I just dropped it to 2, because I'd rather draw something else than sit on 2 of these for an entire game instead of sit on 1 of these and something else that I could need. So yes, this card, you may not be able to get into your battle phase, but it can draw you into this, which can set you up to drop a Pleiades, drop any of that, and make it where your opponent doesn't want to play their turn. So yeah, these are really good. 2 MST, yes. Are artifacts still prevalent? Yes. But I still personally feel Mystical Space Typhoon is a very strong card on its own. Clears back row for me to go off. 1 Allure, practically 90% of the main board except for BLS and Mathematician and Veiler are dark. 90% of your main board is dark. And then your other one ofs, Foolish, Book of Moon, Dark Hole. If for some reason you don't open Tour Guide or Mathematician and you open Foolish, you pitch that, go get a Scarm, and then turn 2 you're ready to go off for Exceeds. And then Book of Moon and Dark Hole are just kind of, everybody knows. 3 Phoenix Wings, everything goes off as soon as they're sent to Graveyard, except if they have obviously already gone, one of their name has already gone off that turn. And then you've got 2 Breakthrough Skill. If you've got to send it off of a Phoenix Wing, you're still good to go because its effect still is live in your yard. Even if it's only live during your turn, it is still very live. And then you're also going to mill these, you're going to set them. These are really good. And then these are, there's so many Exceeds that cannot deal with Phoenix Wings. And then more one of Solemn, Bottomless, Compulse, Torrential, just kind of the staple one of traps. And then this is my personal tech. I've seen a couple of lists for this deck, and most of them are really pretty good. I've played against a couple of people that have gotten some pretty good lists, and it's fun for a mirror. I love this card. It's just like I was saying with BLS and Chaos Sorcerer, they're live turn 1 90% of the time. Xyz Reborn is live 90% of the time turn 1, and especially once you rank up into like Volcasaurus, Pleiades, things like that, you can Xyz Reborn into any of those rank 5s and just go to town. So yes, this card is amazing. So I have personally... This card has actually won me 3 different games just for the fact that I've had it. And when I haven't seen it, I've still won the games, but this thing just accentuates your point late game if you draw it. If you cannot for some reason drop that Exceed, you set it and then go off on your opponent later. So yeah, that card is amazing. Going to the extra board. 2 Dante. It's pretty much Card Trooper, except when it dies you don't get to draw. But you gain 500 for each, so it comes up to a 2,500 beat stick. And then you also mill the top 3 just like Card Trooper, so your effects are going to go off. And then when it dies, you can add 1 Burning Abyss card back to your hand. If you noticed, I don't personally run the Traveler and the Burning Abyss. I don't like it because most of the time it literally is not one of those cards that you just would want to play because of a Dark Hole blew out your board, and then during the end phase of your opponent's turn you'd activate it. Other than that, I don't personally like it. Maybe once we get the new support it'll be amazing, but as for now I'm not a fan. 1 Pleiades. I was playing Tannhauser Gate, which is why this is in my extra deck right now. Photon Strike Bouncer. Photon Strike Bouncer really good. Tannhauser Gate became dead. Kind of was a 50-50 shot if it was dead or not. But I rather would have. That's why I played Xyz Reborn now instead of Tannhauser, and it's worked better. So this needs to be a second Pleiades. I've got 1 in the mail coming to me, so this is going to be a second Pleiades, so it's going to be a 2 and 2 on these. And everyone knows Pleiades, amazing. Stop. I'm going wrong spot. Okay, 1 and 1 Alucard Bram. Alucard's pretty much one of the best rank 3s, and then if you can play Bram, you're going to play Bram. Pretty much one of the few decks that can play this stupid card. What does it take? 2 level 5 zombies. Pretty much one of the only decks that can play this is gonna be the vampire deck. So if you can rank up into this guy's amazing. You just take any of your opponent's monsters. Yes, it can be the only one that can attack for the rest of the turn, but this thing is amazing. So just saying, that thing is amazing. Then we've got Chrononaut. This actually can stall pretty well. Like, I've had situations where I have... This thing, yeah, the deck can draw dead. Every deck has its moments for dead draws. But you just sit on this, and if your opponent can't beat past it, or your back row, you're pretty much okay to keep going later. And then you can go into this big guy. A friend of mine forgot to read it before he punched into my defense position Dante, and he had 3 E-Heroes on the table, and 3 E-Hero fusions, and then he punched into my Dante, and he had forgotten to read exactly what this thing did before he punched, so he lost his board. So, this is just a fun thing. This isn't, like, amazing competitive. It's just something, like, there are things that even most of the deck cannot deal with attack power-wise. So 90% of the time, the only reason I'm going into this is if I have the rank up and I have to beat over something that has more than 3,000 or 2,500. Then, most common thing for this deck is going to be your Granosaurus Volcasaurus. I forced, a buddy of mine, I forced him to activate his, shooting Quasar Dragon, and then I ranked up into Volcasaurus and popped the Quasar for 4K. So this card, and that was for game because he only had like 3,200 left. So this thing is amazing. If you can play Volcasaurus, I don't care if you're playing rank 5s, rank 3s, if you can somehow make a Volcasaurus, this card is amazing. It can win games. If for some reason, like, Cowboy, literally, everyone's like, Cowboy can win games. There's a reason why, is because he can push and press for that extra 800. Well, if you've literally got that little bit left and you know your opponent doesn't have anything to stop it, Volcasaurus can push for that last bit of game, even without having to attack. Then you got your Engineer. This thing's amazing, forcing your opponent not to be able to press, and then you can rank up into Tyrus. Amazing. Just saying, this is amazing. Punch and then you can pop, so yeah, Tyrus is really good. And then it can't die by card effects, so yeah, it's awesome. Got 1 wind-up Zen mains. You're playing rank 3s, you're probably going to be playing Zen mains. And there's things sometimes you can't deal with, so you just want Zen mains. You're playing all rank 3s except your rank 5s for rank up. Downward Magician for the turn 2 for the main 2. Sometimes you want to make it on top of a Dante, and then you can detach your Dante after punching over a defense, and then get Dante's effect. So yeah, that's really good. And then because you're playing Pleiades, double Pleiades, you can play Ptolemy. So if you've already exhausted both of your Ptolemy plays, you can literally on your turn just look at it and play M7. And then you've got an extra bounce. So M7, if you're playing anything Constellar, I feel like you can always play Ptolemy. Just for the fact, even if you can't rank 6 it, like, that was another reason I was playing this, because of Tannhauser, so it was really easy to make, because things became level 6s with Tour Guide, Skarm, or Graph. So things were ranked at level 6 and overlay into this, or Bouncer, and then, so this thing just became live really quick and really easy. And then everybody, like, shows their tokens on their videos. I did have a side deck built. I don't know if anybody cares, but it was mainly for when I was playing Gravekeepers. Double Fossil Dyna, Shaman, Dimension, Fissure, System Down, that thing's amazing. Mind Control, Soul Drain, Deck Devi, Macro, Light Imprisoning, and Chain Disappearance. Like, half of this extra deck will stay because Shadow's, because Light Sworn, just because it's amazing, that would probably stay. These would, just because they're amazing, and these would probably stay. So like 95% of the side deck would stay, because things are fun to play. So, I don't think with as much of a competitive mindset as I used to, just for the fact of I'm trying to play this game for fun, not complete competitive. So if that's why you guys are concerned about some of my plays or thoughts, I'm not trying to completely play competitive at all. I'm just trying to play the game for fun, because if I was really playing competitive, this deck would be completely foiled out, and my wife would probably be killing me because I've spent so much money. So tokens, people always show their tokens. I just have a few fun tokens. I used to play Naruto, so Sasuke, Chibi, Naruto, Childhood Sasuke, or Childhood Kakashi, Curse Mark 2, Kimimaro Killer B just because he's hilarious, and then because I'm still trying to play this game, it's a dead card game, so everything's really cheap. The Power Rangers trading card game, because Mystic Force was one of my favorite series. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. It's a really fun deck. I personally love playing the deck. So if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. Like I said, I'm always open to thoughts. The deck is really fun to play. It's just a fun little deck of cards. So, alright guys, you have a good one. Peace.